Next, we come to the factors or the determinants of supply. As we were mentioning that the supply of a commodity depends very much upon different various factors. Okay, as we have studied in demand also, the theory of demand, where we have studied the demand for a commodity by the consumers are dependent on certain factors or the determinants of demand, as we have studied. Similarly, the theory of supply, in the theory of supply we are going to learn that supply of a commodity depends upon certain factors or what we call the determinants of supply. We come one by one. Number one, the most significant one is the price of the commodity. Now always keep in mind two things when we are talking about the determinants of supply. Point number one to be kept in mind that the supply is done by the producers. So when we are talking about the producers, I mentioned that the producers are profit maximizing entities. So whatever way they behave, they are always trying to maximize their profits. Except until and unless we mention specifically that yes, the producer doesn't have the objective of profit maximization. That will be a special case. But if it is not mentioned, then the behavior of the producer is mainly according to with the objective of profit maximization. Keeping that in mind, he is behaving. Number one. Number two, the common thing that when we are talking about one particular determinant, we are considering all other factors as constant. Because until and unless you keep the other factors constant, you cannot relate one to one. You cannot bring that one-to-one correspondence, that how the effect is, whether the rise in price is increasing the supply of the commodity, or some other factor is increasing the supply of the commodity. If all the factor varies together, then it's very hard to put it into theory to bring out a one-to-one relation between the determinants and the supply. Okay, so determinants of supply and the supply of the quantity supplied. So when we are talking about one particular factor, when we are discussing one particular factor, when we are explaining or writing one particular factor as a determinant, it is assumed that we stick to that factor only. Okay. Now, price of the commodity. Now, if price increases, producer is ready to supply more because higher prices will fetch the producer higher profits. So with an objective of profit maximization, as the price of the commodity rises, the producer is also ready to offer more for sale. The quantity supplied increases. There exists a direct relation between price of the commodity and the quantity supplied. Next, number two, input prices. Input prices means what? The price of the commodities which are used as input in the production process. That may be raw materials, it may be labor input, okay, it may be capital input. So the different inputs that we put into the production process is known as the inputs. Now see, whenever we are talking about, I told earlier only that when we are talking about input prices, we are keeping all other factors. That means the price of the commodity is now constant, not increasing or decreasing. So as there is an increase in the input prices, the cost of production increases. Now with an increased cost of production at the existing price of the commodity, the producer is ready to supply less because the cost of production increases. his profit margin decreases. So now he is ready to supply less at the existing price. If price increases, again he is ready to supply more. So for input prices, if the prices of inputs increase, then the producer is ready to supply less at existing price of the commodity. Number C, technology, or we may also call them techniques of production. Technology, with an improvement in the technology, the average cost of production decreases. The average cost of production decreases. That's what good technology or improved technology gives us. Improved technology reduces cost, that is average cost. That means improved technology brings cost efficiency. So the average cost of production decreases, and it also saves time. Saving time means more work, more output in less time. That means that is also, you can produce, as you can produce more output in less time, it is also becoming cost efficient technique of production. So with improvement in technology, the producer is ready to supply more. Okay. Goals of the farm. Now here we come to that point we were discussing. Goals means objectives of the farm. Objectives of the farm, the farm is having an objective of profit maximization. Now here, if it is mentioned or is a situation where the producer is not trying to maximize his profit, but he is trying to maximize his sale of the commodity, is trying to maximize his sale, as much he can sell out, okay, without going for profit maximization, even at constant prices, or if by lowering the price a little bit, his profit may not be maximized, but he can sell out his entire stock or whatever he has brought to the market for sale. So when we are talking about that, he can, if the objective is for sales maximization at constant prices or even at a reduced price, a little bit reduced price, he can sell maximum of his commodities. So then he can increase the supply of the commodity with an objective of sales maximization. If we can tell here that if the objective is sales maximization, then he increases supply of the commodity, or he is ready to supply more even at constant prices, or even without any increase in the price level, without any rise in the price level. He is ready to supply more. That's the goal of the farm. If the goal of the farm changes. Government policy, taxation. If there is taxation, the producer has to bear the tax, extra tax, additional taxes. So what happens? The cost of production increases. So the producer now is ready to supply less at existing price. Tax increases, average cost of production increases, the producer is ready to supply less at existing price. Price again increases, we go to the first factor. But at existing price, with taxation, with increase in cost of production, the producer is ready to supply less. If subsidies are provided to the producer is definitely ready to supply more at existing price. Price of related commodities. Now related commodities, substitute goods. If the producer finds that the price of a substitute good is increasing, then for him it's more profitable to produce and supply that commodity instead of the existing one. Okay, so price of a when he finds if there is an increase in the price of a substitute good, then the producer what he finds it more profitable to produce that substitute good, and thereby the supply of the commodity in question goes down. The supply of the commodity in question goes down. Future price expectations. Now today, the producer finds that whatever policies, government policies, discussions, political situation, economic, upcoming state of the economic affairs, the producer is certain that there will be an increase, or he is mostly expecting that the price of the commodity will rise in very near future. The price of the commodity will rise in very near future. What he does? He doesn't supply now. He reduces his supply and holds back. H-O-A-R-D, hoarding. Okay, he hold back that means he is hoarding. He's keep bringing stock, gathering stock. He doesn't supply it to the market. At times you find very common. We find the retailers telling that there is a shortage of supply. Certain commodities are not coming to the market. Producers it's not coming from the company. There is a shortage of supply. So there is a hoarding. There may be a hoarding. Why? They have an expectation. Producers have an expectation that the price is going to rise. So today they hoard and let the price rise. We will supply more so that we can earn more profit. So with an expectation of the future price to rise, the price to rise in near future, today, presently, the supply decreases. The supply decreases. Then we have natural factors. Now natural factors, it may be certain situations like flood, earthquake, different natural calamities that take place that very much affect at times mostly agricultural products and at times to different types of commodities of daily use. Such factors also lead to a decrease in supply. And transport facilities. If transport facilities are not that good, communication, raw materials, input coming to the factories in less, if there is a problem, not proper transport facilities, so there will be a delay in production, and after it is being produced there will be delay in supply to the market. So improper transport facilities will reduce the supply of the commodity. With proper or adequate transport facilities, you have increased supply of the commodity. The supply of the commodity is more. So with these significant factors, or with these are the significant determinants of supply of the commodity. Read the text very thoroughly, minutely. Listen, watch, listen to the explanations very minutely and get through the determinants of supply of a commodity.